My name is Kunal Nemade, and I am a student of VIIT. I was informed that many of you guys are student of VIIT. So I've completed my bachelor's from in electronics, uh, and then pursued my master's from Hochschule Offenburg. I completed the course in 2019. Then I was working for a year, and now I'm came back to India, and now I'm looking for new job here in the same stream that I was working back. So I'm specifically I'm embedded software engineer, and I started my masters in 2016, completed in 2019, and as I already said, 1 year I was working in the company in Munich. And yes, here I am sharing my experience from my from third year or second year of my engineering, how I started my applications, how I planned that. I hope that would be helpful for you guys. I'll be covering the most frequent questions answered. Question asked before you go for even start to think uh, about applications. So let me just jump to the question and answers. FAQs. So so we before the session, I had to talk with Vijita ma'am, and we decided on these questions that comes from the students. Why and when did you choose for Germany? So for me, it was from very beginning. I was determined to go for MS because of some obvious reason. My elder brother was there, so it was easy. But then again, I was confused as you all, which where to go. So MS in US or MS in Germany. But again, considering the many things, for example, fees, and the comfort I had because my brother was there, I chose Germany. Still, that was very early for me, so I kept my options open and prepared for GRE as well. By the end of third year, I didn't give, but by the time of third year, I think I was pretty much sure that Germany was the place I wanted to again because of fees.
Yeah,
But
hi
then,
Kunal. Yeah, sorry to interrupt. I'm really sorry.
Mami,
There's some technical glitch. Yeah. So yeah, as you might have explained how you started your process and how it was
mhm.
all, can we just quickly move on to the previous slides where we can
Yeah, sure,
give a
sure.
little brief
That would be
about?
really yeah good flow.
Yeah, yeah,
Let me jump
yes.
to the first slide then.
Tech-
Uh,
Yeah, yes, yes, yes,
yeah.
yes. Yeah. So as I was discussing, I'm not sure if everybody has heard it or not, but yes, we have two basic categories in Germany when it comes to the universities, EU or applied science universities, right, Kunal? So
Yes.
yours was a applied, I mean TU university, right?
No, mine was Hochschule, so
Hochschule.
University
Okay.
of Applied Science.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So could you please elaborate the basic difference between TU University and the Hochschule University?
Yes. Uh, so basically, the T universities, they are on a basic difference. I'll talk about it's technical university. They are more focused on research-based syllabus, and Hochschule for the University of Applied Science, they are more focused on applied science. So basically, on in lemon language, you will learn these things. You are going to apply in industry. You get to study in that manner only, that you are going to apply it in the company for solving the problems, solving the technical issues, and uh, which are in the companies. And on the other side, the TU University syllabus is most focused on research based. It's more focused on and also it's said that for those who are going to pursue PhD afterwards, it's good for them to get in TU. But I would say TU universities, they're really ambitious also. It's difficult to get in there, and if you are there, it's always good to be at a good place. So I would say TU universities, they are good, but
Yeah,
Hochschule
even
has their own advantages.
yeah,
Yes.
even I would also like to add to this. TU universities, in a way, would in a way would have in mind that somebody who's coming from masters at TU is already a master in his or her own skill set.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
you have more of a self study here, and
Exactly.
it's more related theoretical or research oriented work that you need to
Exactly.
do here in TU universities. Yeah. So could we now know, let's move on to the fee structure and the kind of living expenses that we have. So basically, in Germany, as many of us might be knowing, there are public universities and there are few public but paid universities. Again, there's a huge lot of a confusion, public and private universities. I would like to clarify today, there are public universities with no tuition fees and there are public universities with tuition fees. So if I
Exactly.
tell this, as yours was a Hochschule, it was also a public university, but still
Exactly.
it had some tuition fees. So
Exactly.
what we as counselors, many a times we get this query when a student comes to us that, ma'am, we want to go to a public university, not a private university. So this is to correct all those students who have this thought in the mind. We are not sending you to private university for sure. We are sending you to public government aided universities. But yes, there are
Exactly.
certain cases where they have tuition fees. Now Kunal will explain his university and his fee structure, which will make the things a little more clear.
Exactly. So,
Please, Kunal, go ahead.
so I started my masters in 2017, and I was the first batch when Baden-Württemberg state started a tuition fees of 1,500. So whatsoever reasons, they started it when I was joining the university. So it was like the course and the university was public funded, but the tuition fee was there of 1,500 per semester, and we were always been told from our course representative in Hochschule that this fees directly goes to state. So university has nothing to do with the fees. We directly give it to the state, and it's and today only I heard from ma'am that now it started in 3 of the states. So Baden-Württemberg was the first state, if I'm not wrong,
Yeah,
and
it was.
then it's for 3 states. So I don't really know which states, but they are, that's it's German government policy, so we can't say anything in that. But that's really true that there are the public university and some courses has a tuition fee, some courses doesn't, and that's how it is.
Completely free. Yeah, completely. I mean,
Exactly.
you really do not have to pay any tuition fees at all. There's only a
Exactly.
bit of a semester contribution fees, which
Exactly. Minimal
approximately
amount.
ranges from 100 to 300 euros, nothing more than that as
Yeah.
of now. I have heard.
So the
And
previous students,
yeah,
just to add a
please.
little, so my seniors from Hochschule, they didn't pay any fees at all. So apart from the semester fees, that is 230 or something of per semester, and we were a little uh, unlucky that we had to pay 1,500 for each semester. So
But
that was
Kunal, don't
the
you think
downside.
that's Yeah, but Kunal, don't you think that's a pretty less amount when you compare it with countries like US or Canada or UK?
Mhm. So if even if you consider the amount fees uh, that you pay for 2 years, so for 4 semester, and the semester that you extend, even if you extend that, the fees will be really. I mean, there is much difference between the fees you paid in US and fees that even after the tuition fees you
So,
paid in Germany.
yeah.
It's very much different.
So, yeah, talking about the block account. So now,
Mhm.
what I understand, block account is something which most of the students are aware of. So if you think about Germany, you need a block account. There's a
Exactly.
fixed amount you need to keep it, and blah blah. There's a clear scenario. I mean,
Mhm.
there would be students who don't know about the courses, but they clearly know about the block account thing. So,
Exactly.
how do we manage with that particular amount that we take with us, and it is just a year's amount that we take with us when we move to Germany, and how easy or difficult it is to sustain with this much amount in your hands.
Mhm.
So please elaborate on that.
this is
Could
expenses
you
topic.
meanwhile please share the screen so that people would at least read out something? I mean,
Am I not sharing? Okay. Uh,
no.
uh, is it visible now?
Yeah, we can go to
I'm
the Why Germany wala slide. We can clearly go
okay.
to the Why Germany. Yeah,
This
yeah.
one?
Like this.
Okay. So the question was about how we manage the block account, block account money and expenses in Germany. So I think here we should not generalize it all over Germany. So I mean, in my particular case, I was in Offenburg. That's really a small place in Baden-Württemberg, near Freiburg. Uh, so comparative to Frankfurt and Munich, it's really a small village, a small city, not a village. So why I'm saying this, the rent and cost of living is drastically changed when you change the city. So you can't really generalize the expenses in Germany. So you have to think about where your university is. So so there is no comparison when you get admits from TU Munich, for example, and Hochschule Offenburg, because living in Munich is much three times, I would say, costlier than living in Offenburg. So just for giving an example, my rent when I was living in Offenburg was 200 on average, and when I was living in Munich, it was minimum it was 500. So so obviously your living expenses will change, and rent will be the largest portion of that. Coming back to the block account money. At the time when I did application, so I think 8,600 was the amount that we had to block. But now I got to know that it's 1,000 that you have to block, and there is no alternative for that. You have to, I mean, you have to
10,000.
take that
You're
amount.
correct.
Yeah, yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
10,000. You have to take this amount with you. So for me, when I landed in Germany for first semester, I was completely living on my block account money. So 720 amount I used to get for a month. That was the limit. And that was the limit on block account. That only 720 for monthly expenses you can take out. But my expenses were so much limited. So I mean, my rent at that time was 190, and insurance was 100 euros, and apart from that, the food and everything will cost. So everything I used to manage in 400 euros, and the rest was my saving for next month. So first semester I completely lived on my block account money, and by the uh, as soon as the winter gets over, these restaurants and things will start open and you can start working. But I was lucky that even before I started my course, I was in touch with one of my professor, and from second semester only I got work student in his lab. So I was working part time. So by the very start of the second semester, I was side by side, I was getting 450 euros per month for mini job working in his lab. On that, that's a really good opportunity. That was because I got to write that in CV that I was working in his lab. I got to work. I learned a lot there, and and also you earn. Apart from that, I would say I was lucky because I got to know from Hochschule that there is a scholarship of from DART. There is a Tibet program of DART where they offer the scholarship for some students. I mean, who has good score for the first semester and who has a recommendation from professors. As I was working since very beginning with the professor, it was easier for me to get recommendation from him, and that's how I applied for scholarships. So from second semester, I would say I was never on scarcity of like uh, I always had a source of money. So even my rent was less. I was saving a lot, and that's actually I'm proud to say with the 1 year of expenses, I lived for 2 years, and after 2 years, I started full time. So so that was in flow, and I was very lucky. I would say that it happened. They all happened in time, and there was always I had a source of income apart from block account. So, but that's not the only thing you can work. So, as I said, I was working on in a lab, But that's not the only thing. Uh, Apart from lab in summer, when Hochschule was closed, lab was closed. I was 3 months for 2 to 3 months. I was working in a restaurant beside our Hochschule. Actually, we all students, be it from any country, we all were working there, and that was again, you get to work, you get to save a lot of money, and you get to see the surroundings. So, as I said, I lived in Baden-Württemberg. It's a Black Forest state, so I always had little savings to roam around. It was a great time, in at least in first year
Great,
of my
great.
masters.
Great. Now, talking about as you mentioned about the scholarships, Kunal, I would
Mhm,
want you to elaborate on one very important aspect. So many a
mhm,
times we also get a query like, we need to apply to the universities and we also want scholarships. Suppose
mhm,
we are applying from here in India and we want to do the applications for scholarships. How possible
mhm,
or how difficult or easy it is to get a scholarship right
mhm, mhm,
away when you are doing your applications?
mhm. So I think if you are doing applying for any scholarship, actually I'm not aware of if is there any uh, uh, program of scholarship before even before uh, you start the university to apply for. Uh, but I don't think it's. But if it is there, the basic requirement is that you should have the profile that you can apply for. So, for example, when I say I got a scholarship, or the fellow students who got a scholarship, they always had a recommendation letter from professor. So, professor of the same university. I think this requirement and the grades of the first semester, the performance of my our students in a
Yeah, so
subject.
basically, what I have understood is it's not that easy. Either it is a public university or a paid university. Getting
Yes,
a DART scholarship or any sort of scholarship right from here, it is very difficult to figure it out,
exactly,
because
exactly.
I have heard of couple of scholarships, but
Mhm, mhm,
the window which they open for applying whichever
mhm, mhm.
scholarship. I mean, whichever the organization is providing a scholarship, they give you
Mhm,
only a
mhm.
week's time. So to fetch that
Exactly.
particular organization and to apply and get into it is very difficult. But
Mhm, mhm,
howsoever, what I have heard from many students, and now that we are also discussing, once you
mhm.
are there in Germany, you have to be very alert with the university notifications and
Exactly,
all,
exactly.
and you can actually land up getting really good fundings when you are there in
Yes,
Germany.
yes, exactly. So, as already said, that I was very lucky that I was actually, when it was happening, I was at the right time. I was at the right place. I would say I was constantly in touch with my program coordinator and the office, which always keep track about the scholarships. Specifically, I would say we were very friendly with the office.
The
I mean,
faculties.
yeah, because we had interaction before about some events. Because of that, we were knowing to the coordinator very well, and that's how we got to know about the scholarship program. And then the application happened, uh, and rest was on my profile. My professor, he agreed to give me recommendation, and my performance
Great,
was
great.
also in the I mean, satisfying the requirements. And you have to write a statement of
Cool.
purpose why you need the scholarship. Uh,
Mhm.
so yeah, that's how it happened.
Okay, now coming to the very basic question, when we choose a university, or more prioritizing the question, when we choose
Mhm,
a course, so how
mhm,
important, or what do you think uh, we should look after in a course? Because
mhm, mhm,
what we find in Germany, I'm sure you understood the question which I'm talking about. So suppose
mhm,
the name of the course is something, because many a times I do understand there are students who are working and they just need a shortlisting from us, and once this read the name of the course, ma'am, we don't want to apply for this particular
exactly,
course. What
exactly,
wrong happens here is, as I figure out, you guys don't see the structure or the modules that are present
exactly.
in that course. So how true this is? I mean, how is your experience in it? How have you
That's
selected your course? what are the admits that you had received
So
when you were doing the
from
application?
yeah, that's very true. That some that's also that's very weird of them. That some course the names are a little bit different than what contents are, and that's actually happened with me. I got admits from three universities, and out of them, I chose CME, and there were many reasons to that because from very beginning I wanted to I was very clear to be on embedded software side. I wanted always wanted to be on embedded, and if you know my course is communication and media engineering. So the question was why I chose this course basically. So if you see the course contents and course structure, there are courses and there are facilities and departments and professors in my university there were who were we were on embedded side. There was an Institute of Reliable Embedded Systems and Communication Electronics, and that was the main reason I chose the CME program. Even if it sounds the communication and media engineering, because of that lab.
Course structures and the name of the courses that we select when we do our applications. One very important aspect when you are shortlisting your universities is please do not only go by the name of the course that appears on the DARD website or that appears in the course website. Please thoroughly go into the structures that are being provided. Every course website has a very detailed course module catalog which is there. It might be sometimes that the modules that are given are in German, but you can always translate those modules and see what they are offering. So this is very, very, very important to understand what are the courses or what are the modules that are being offered in the course. So I have come across this particular question many times, and time and again I come across this question that once the shortlisting is provided, people say, ma'am, we don't want really to apply to this particular course because we are not so good in this aspects or we are not so good in that aspect. But trust me, the major modules that are being offered will be something which is of your interest, or at least the elective modules that the course is offering might be of some of your interest. Maybe 100 to 100% you are not getting the course that you are desiring to aspire, but I'm sure it would be having some relevant course options, and it would also be having some uh, added advantageous modules which actually would sharpen your skills. I mean, they are uh, technically structured courses which has some in sync with, I mean, some relation with each other and some relevance with each other, so that they can build your profile more appropriately, which is more helpful for you for building your future prospects. So never just go by the name of the course. That was one very important aspect which I wanted to clarify through Kunal. If Kunal is back, Kunal, can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
Yes, yes. Can you please just change the slides? Okay,
Yes.
now coming to the German skills. Coming to
Mhm.
the German skills, how important, you can just skip the slide. We have already actually discussed about this also. The next slide we can move on to. Next. Yeah, so these are a couple of options that we have just figured out, just to quickly give you a glance of what are the course options that we have. So apart from this, there are many more options you will find on DARD itself. So there are many more. Whichever stream you choose, I mean, whichever stream, you will be getting really good options, good course structures and course modules. Kunal, please next slide. Yeah, now as we were discussing about many of the aspects when you prepare for your course or when you get your admits and then start planning with your visa documentations and all, one very important thing I need to understand, or I want my students, for the students, future students, to understand how important is German. And Kunal, as an individual, how good you have become in your German proficiency. I'm not asking
Mhm,
about your understanding of the language, rather, I'm asking
mhm,
about your communication skills. How
mhm,
have they
mhm.
improved?
Yeah, so I'll share very honest experience or my experience on that. I before I went for applications, I had A2, and many students before, including me, that I was thinking that when I was pursuing masters, I'll side by side pursue, learn Deutsch as well. Many students I see they did it. My friends, many students who did it, but it was I personally find it really difficult. Beside learning the course, learning Deutsch, I find it doing both things little difficult. But that's not impossible. And I also have many examples that they did B2 B1 sorry B2 B1 when they were studying with me, and by the end when I was working, I completed B1. Uh, but Deutsch is really important, even if people say that if you're in completely software, you don't really need it. If you're in big cities, you don't really need it. But you really need it because it makes your life really easier. I mean, uh, to talk with your colleagues in office or talk with have some connections with the with the people around your universities or your neighbors or whoever those people are. It's really makes your life easy. So it's always good to have some proficiency, I would say, before you even start applying for Germany. That's I think I made a mistake that I should have completed B1 right before I start my applications. But uh, but yeah, by the end, when I was working, I completed B1, and currently I'm able to communicate at that level. But that was the downside, that I couldn't improve beyond that because my company, company was little international, and all the colleagues were completely able to fluently able to speak in English. And when you're working, I mean, it was preferable for me and for my CEOs also to speak Deutsch, or my superiors also. Sorry, to speak English. So, so that's how it happened. But it's always good to have good knowledge before you even start applying.
Yeah, so Kunal, you went to Germany in 2017, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so now, uh, as it's already been 2 3 years down the lane, so the number of students that were opting for Germany as a study destination, and right
Hmm.
now the number of students that are going to Germany for their
Hmm.
higher studies,
Hmm.
how would you rate German as a language? How important it was then, and how important it is right now? I mean, yes, I do understand German language. You are going to Germany, you have to have in your profile. But
Hmm.
what would you recommend the students who have joined the webinar right now, who are in their third year
Hmm.
or fourth year? When do
Hmm.
they start, and by the time they're doing the applications, what level they should be completing, and
Hmm.
how important is the international certification when it comes
Hmm.
to doing the application and getting an admission?
Yeah. So basically, many universities they ask for B1 certificate for even for applications. If I'm not wrong, if some modules are in Deutsch, they're definitely gonna ask you certificate for Deutsch B1 certificate. Or for my universities, it was uh, A1. I think A1, but I had a time, so I completed A2 as well. Uh, that's about getting admit. But if you want to get job afterwards and have a little easy life, and so I would say complete at least before, as I already said, that you need to have B1 at least before you start. And maybe if you already have, then you can improve on that. And if you have B2, then you have good chances to get job also. If you communicate well, then it increase the chances of standing in the interview for first few calls. So that's very important. Out of 10, I would say it's the it's the only thing which is important. Even if so, for jobs, I would say even if you're lacking little in technical, that's okay. But if you are speaking in German, then it makes the place for you to land at some place. So that's how important it is.
Okay, so Kunal, there's a question. There's a student who's asking how
Hmm.
important it is to work part time to manage your expenses. I think you've already discussed about it in
Hmm.
at large. Actually, you have already explained, but now that the question has occurred and
Hmm.
I'm going through it, do we need to work part time to manage our expenses?
Well, I would say yes. You have to work part time if you don't want to ask. I mean, you don't want to bring money again. Uh, then you have to because I'll take my example. So at my time it was 720 euros per month. It was that was possible to get at one for 1 month. And if I was living in Munich, so there was no chance at all to survive for a month in 720 euros. And same goes for different places. So in Berlin, I think things are cheaper. I really don't have idea. This question should be asked to the people who are living in that place. These things change. These
So
things are
to
very
add
different.
to this, what I have heard, like you said before, Offenburg being one of not a very big city or a
Hmm.
bit of a suburban area, I would say, the expenses were quite minimal and you managed. And luckily, you always had a source of income through your
Hmm.
scholarships and
Hmm.
your student job,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Howsoever, I have heard from my students who are in Berlin and Munich as well. So we were also discussing this before, if you remember.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
people also manage to sustain in places like Berlin and Munich with 600, 650 euros. So the major chunk obviously
Yes,
goes in the rent,
in rent.
but
Yes.
yes, if you wish, you can actually save a lot of money. I mean,
Yeah,
if it is
that's up
all
to your lifestyle. But
yeah,
then
how
there
yes.
are very so many stars to that. If you are unlucky and you didn't get to live in student Wohnheim or student dormitory, then
Yeah.
definitely your rent gonna be 100 or 150 euros higher than that you spend in dorm, right? So you know, if in that case you can't. That's not up to you. I mean, you're paying that much rent, so obviously your monthly expenses will increase. So definitely you have to reduce at some point, but there is also minimum limit how much can you uh, reduce your expenses. I mean,
Expenses,
for
yeah.
food, even if you are cooking 3 times, I think I used to do that. I used to cook both times. We all used to do that. Many students does that, but still, 120 to 150 euros you always spend in month, or at least if you're managing a lot, 100 euros at least you spend for food for a month, and 100 120 10 I think you spend for uh, insurance, and then rent amount, and then miscellaneous expenses. I don't know what they are, but very minimum, like your cycle got punctured or something happens, you need something, you need to buy gloves for winter or some things like that, then those kind of miscellaneous. So I think it always goes upon 300, 350. Those are minimum, even if you're living
Okay,
in Offenburg
okay.
at this condition.
Mhm. So this was all about how it was your experience throughout when you were doing your masters. How about the
Hmm.
stay back? How convenient it is when you get 18 months of a stay back after completing your masters. And I am sure your complete stay back period went in a COVID situation. So
Yeah,
throw some light, yeah, throw some light on this particular thing. How have situations changed in Germany post-COVID? How difficult
yeah.
or easy it is for the international students to,
Uh-huh.
survive without part-times, or how the part-time offers are
Mhm.
still available or not?
Mhm. So I think things are getting over now. So I think they are not. I think they are not extending it beyond March 7th. the lockdown, at least in Bayan State, I know because I've been following that. But my when as I started my full time and lockdown happened, that was really unfortunate for me. I started earning a good amount and then I couldn't spend at all. I would say that was really good. I could save, but I didn't roam around. That's sad
Okay.
for me. But that's I would say in perspective of applying for universities, I think it's good because I just met one of my friend few days back, and he said his course is already started and he's doing it online. All the lectures he's doing online, exams he's doing online, and
Mm.
first semester he did living in India, and that was really
Yeah,
fascinating for me
many.
because he actually saves his expenses of maybe 200 to 300 euros sitting in India. That was really awesome.
I know, I know. I mean, your rent is saved, your insurance amount is saved.
Everything,
But
everything is saved.
yeah, and your traveling and all other expenses, miscellaneous things
Mhm.
that you mentioned.
Yes, yes.
But however, tell me one thing, like if yourselves doing this particular course uh, in campus and someone who's doing it online, I mean,
Oh,
how would you rate it? How difficult it is? Because yours is a more practical oriented course, which
yes, it
I'm
was. I
aware
would
of. Yeah.
my experience of doing masters. So if I look back, I remember my lab. I mean, for uh, yeah, just if I talk about my masters, it was I was spend a lot of time uh, in the lab only. I mean, apart from the lectures of my favorite subjects, I spend a lot of time in lab. So that was my experience, that doing things sitting there, having interaction with my supervisor, and uh, I really had a great connection with those people. That was my first work when I was doing with I can say here that I was working with Germans. So it's really different to work with them. Then I mean, it's different work culture there and in India. So I was enjoying being in there. And then when I was started full time, even though I was knowing the team very well because I did my master thesis there for before I start my full time, I spent 7 to 8 months with them. So I was knowing them. We worked together on site, and then in lockdown we were doing it online. So for me, it was not fascinating to work on online, having calls. So I need that interaction, physical interaction, to understand. I can't really talk about how it is taking lectures online because I didn't experience it before. But would be, I think, would be same. It's just can't interact with your professor. Maybe you can write an email or some sort of arrangement if he can do for chat and things.
Right,
Same,
right,
I
right.
think, but I'm not really fan of this online thing. I really need, be it a
Yeah.
be it a professor or my supervisor or my colleague. I would like to have the physical interaction.
Yeah. So there's one more question. This, what are the best scholarships and loans available for study in Germany? Scholarships are already talked about, like,
Hmm.
when you are applying here, like when you are doing your applications, um,
I can.
finding a scholarship. Yeah, please, please, Kunal.
Uh, I'm not aware of what are all the scholarships available, but what I applied for was a STIBET program, STIBET program by DAAD, DAAD, and
Mm-hmm.
all the information I think you can, I mean, you can find in your university talking to a particular office. There is always a person who is responsible for these kind of things, and
Mm-hmm.
that side definitely. And about loan, I'm not really the person who can talk about that. So maybe, ma'am, you can guide on.
Yeah, loan, I think our hosts, I think they are already, doing their best part in providing education loans. So who other than the HDFC Credila? They are the best ones to provide you education loan, because they have so many categories of it, and they give you so much of a flexibility to repay and all. So yes, HDFC Credila, I would recommend for sure. Okay, so Kunal, what are your future plans right now that you are here in India,
Mhm.
you're done with your master's, you're done with your degree now,
Mhm.
like, which we were really skeptical when we were doing our applications and all. What are
Yes.
your next plans?
Well, it's been 1 month. I came back, just chilling now. I wanted to start applying now. So I have like good experience. I would say to work in the company where I was doing my master thesis, and then I was working. So gather that experience. I think now it's time
Yeah.
to apply that here, and I'm looking for the companies who have one leg in Deutschland. So in future, if I made my
Yeah.
plan to go back, so that would be option for me
Yes.
again to go back. And so, for example, there are many companies in automotive, and my direction has also changed to that. And which countries? I mean, yeah, there's no other better country than I would say to work in automobile industry in automotive software than Germany. So I think that's my plan, but not started yet. Soon I'll start applying for jobs in India.
And how are the opportunities right now? Like for a student, suppose who's planning to go for masters right now in the
Hmm.
2021 intake possibly. What do you think? I mean, yeah, it would be very early to say something on this,
Hmm. Hmm.
but how
Hmm.
has the market or the industry been affected due to
Hmm.
COVID? What are the
Hmm.
opportunities that have started or that will continue in the near future, which will help these students who will be going for their higher education in the
Hmm.
coming days?
Uh, I can talk about my domain because I've seen it more closely than mechanical or automobile. I mean, mechanical side of automobile or process industry or supply chain or this kind of jobs because I don't have really that idea how is the market because things really move physically, in those industries.
Correct,
But
correct.
where I belongs in software, uh, there was kind of frozen situation for a few months, but back 5 to 6 months back, now things are moving slowly, but things are moving, and now as the lockdown is being really, um, there I can see
To,
many positions out.
yeah,
Many
opening
are
up. Yeah,
actually,
the market
yeah,
is opening up actually.
I was getting many calls from headhunters or HRs that about
Hmm.
opening. So I can
Hmm.
talk about the software or embedded software. I mean, software companies that they are not much affected by the pandemic as long as their clients are not affected. So, for example, if a company has a client of some automobile company, then definitely
They
it's
are
going to
affected.
hamper the software industry as well. But
True.
for example, SAP or the completely software company I can think of is
Hmm. So
top of my mind.
I would like to add on this, like there was a student who went, November. The winter semester eventually started late this year. I mean 2020 winter, which should have started in September, started in November. I think many of us are aware about it because of the pandemic. The semester
Mm-hmm.
started late, even though they were online. They started late.
Mm-hmm.
So this person about whom I'm talking is he went to Germany. I mean, he landed in Germany in January,
Mm-hmm.
December, I think, December 24th. I guess he was flying, if I'm not wrong. So
Mm-hmm.
Abhishek, he landed in Germany in December, and he had a very strong sports background. Very
Mm-hmm.
strong sports background. Academically,
Mm-hmm.
not so strong though, but yes, he had a very good sports. I mean, he is a marathon runner and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot he is into related to
Mm-hmm.
sports. And now
Mm-hmm.
he's a mechanical engineer. Now,
Mm-hmm.
a week before, I got an update from him that he has been hired by one of the American sports equipments
Oh,
manufacturers there in Germany. Yeah,
uh-huh.
yes. So this says a lot about the opportunities. It's not
Yes.
that they are not there. So why I cited this example in particular, like someone who's landed up there in Germany just a couple of months back, who was doing his first semester. If someone is getting an
Exactly. Yeah.
intern, I mean, he got a work student in his first semester itself, and
Mm-hmm.
looking at his profile, the company, they have kind of, given him a hint that they will be giving an internship to him, because his course has a 1 year internship structure.
Okay.
So, guys, anyone who has joined and who's really keen and passionate of doing really great in his own domain, please work hard on your own uh, field, because the more you build your profile right now, it is going to help you when you are there in your most desired study destination, be it Germany, be it whichever place you're going to. But only academics or only certain things will not help you out. You need to build your network, you need to build your
Exactly.
communication skills, you need to have be updated with all the software skills and all in your profile which you have in your stream. So it everything all together will definitely help you out, and whatever is the highlighted aspect, that will definitely place you in a very good position.
Yeah,
Anything
that's
you would
really
like to add
true.
to this, Kanal?
Yeah, because when interview happens, it's not only the academics they talk about. They are really interested. I've also experienced from the interviews I had before joining my full time and for my thesis as well, that they are not only interested in your technical things, but how good you are to mix in their team, and they did really do focus on that. I mean, how good you are. I mean, for example, you just mentioned that marathon. They my company would have hired that guy because my all colleagues, they were fan of cycling and running, and they used to plan like uh, twice a week for a run. So it's really exciting for them to have this kind of guy, and you never know that what qualities or what skill in your CV uh, that's going to trigger them, and they, what that's going to trigger their requirement. So, for example, that you mentioned that some sports company, American sports company, they hired him. Obviously,
Yeah,
they must have seen something, some skill that they might help them to grow, the company to grow,
yeah.
and that's how it works. So it's not always about your academics.
Yes, it was really nice, Kunal, to talk with you. We are open for any sort of questions. Guys, you can drop in your questions if you have any queries which we can answer.